and welcome to the Vitality Vault. I'm Maddie Riley. I film, edit, and upload these podcasts, and I'm thrilled to introduce Vitality's newest venture, where we bring in inspiring women to talk about who they are, what they do, and how they got there. Our first guest is Summer Harness. I'll let our host Shannon Hayes introduce her in just a moment. But before that, I want to remind you to subscribe. I don't want you to miss our next episode. Empowered women, empower women. Enjoy the first episode of Vitality Vault by Vitality Ventures Group.
Okay, so, Maddie, I'm sure you are recording, right? Okay. I will not do my Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello. Hello.
Oh.
Anyway. Welcome back to, we don't know the name of this podcast. However, we do have a new space, and in our new space, Summer, you're our first podcast person in our new space.
I feel so honored.
You should feel so honored. I feel so honored. That was rude.
I should feel very honored and I feel special to be here. Yeah.
So anyway, we're just going to chat it up. But Summer is one of the owners. Is this right? Of Amelie?
Yep.
Med Spa.
Yep.
You guys have been around for a long time, right?
8 years. We're going to have our 9th anniversary.
And you're in Tigard?
We're in Tigard.
And in Vancouver on the waterfront.
Yep. Vancouver, Washington, not
right.
Vancouver, Canada.
Right.
Yes.
On the waterfront.
So people think it's Canada.
Right.
I'm like, no.
So I think what we decided to do, Maddie, is because this is our first podcast of the non-shenanigans. Not that the Anna won't be with us; she will
in spirit.
And she'll probably do stuff with us. She just has to be doing her thing.
Yep.
So I think. The goal of this podcast and what I wanted to do is, because the previous one was all med spa focus, and I know you own a med spa, but I wanted to talk to women in business and entrepreneurial women who are successful and kind of get through all the shit and talk about shit and how did you get there and how are you here and struggles and the awesome things and what you've learned and kind of help other people, because it is a very entrepreneurial world now. Yep. And maybe this is a sexist fucking statement. I don't know. Is this sexist? I think entrepreneurial women have a completely different road to travel than entrepreneurial men. That's not sexist, is it? I mean,
no,
I don't know.
It's just how it is. But right. I think that it's changing pretty quickly, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's, and I don't mean like glass ceiling shit. I mean like, we just have different responsibilities on a daily basis and approach things in a different way. And even the types of businesses that we open usually are much more geared towards the demographic of women.
Yep.
So, we read, anybody can go on Google on how to open a business and the 5 things you must do, and they're fine, but I'd like to break shit down and kind of talk about the real stuff.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So let's talk about the evolution of Amelie.
Yeah. So, started kind of, for me, accidentally. I was just doing literally an MLM skincare. I don't know if anyone is kind of icked out by that, but that was how I started my own business was an MLM. But I did actually pretty well in it and was making good money and was looking to step away from bedside nursing as a labor delivery nurse. And that was in 2017, 2018. And I was doing Facebook and Instagram. Instagram was very newish at that time. And so I was actually able to do okay on it. We're now in it's a very different landscape. But at the time I was doing okay with it. So I got invited by another labor delivery nurse. She's like, hey, me and my friend just started this Botox clinic. We're in a gym. It's one room, but we need someone to market because they didn't have a website or Google My Business profile.
Wait. You were in a gym?
We were in a, it's called Edge Family Fitness. It is not necessarily a high-end gym. It's very cute, but one room that is literally the size of a broom closet, maybe 10 feet by 12 feet or something like that. So we started there, really small though. For example, we would order one Botox vial at a time, and one time it actually we couldn't use the full 100 units in a month. Which is I inject that in my face right now.
But you know what? That's so
small.
It's so small, but small is I think a lot of people are okay, I'm going to open a business and I have to do 7 million things to get it perfect and get it right, as opposed to here we go.
Yep.
Here's a gym. Let's go open up.
The overhead was basically nothing. So, and we grew just really like pretty organically in the beginning, not really knowing if we wanted to do like a business or just like a little side situation. And then
And how did you grow? Was it word of mouth? Did you have a website?
Yeah, word of mouth. And then we built a website, like just like a Squarespace, whatever website. Our name used to be like Specialized Aesthetic Medicine back in the day. That's still like our legal name. But, now our DBA or whatever is like Amelie. That's what everyone knows us by. But we changed our name a few times, a few different websites, and then started to grow just referral. Like we had really good customer service and we started to kind of hone in our skills. And we thought we were actually going to be like a cool sculpting clinic. We bought like a cool sculpting machine. That was kind of when we decided, all right, like let's go all in aesthetics. And we really hustled with cool sculpting and kind of got enough revenue to save up for like a actual location that would have 6 rooms. So that's when we, I think we signed our lease in 2018 in Tiger, and that was a 6-room location. And then we opened in 2019.
Okay, so you started in 2007. So about a year?
A couple years.
A couple years.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and you just kind of were going as you going.
Yeah. And then 2019 was when we really started to the last shift that I worked as a labor delivery nurse was December of 2018. And then I was like, okay, full-time, fully into Amelie. And then, we just started to do a lot more injectables there. So we kind of decided, okay, we're not going to be a cool sculpting specialist forever. We got a lot more comfortable and confident with injectables. And, Allergan, who I now train with, our rep at the time was, they've always been amazing, but the rep that really helped us grow, her name's Nikki, but she really believed in us, gave us a lot of training, and really just felt like we could make it and grow something big. So that belief, I feel like, really took us actually a lot of the way from 2019, 2021, and slowly started to hire employees, things like that. So now there's 15 of us total, and then with 2 locations.
So you guys were both labor and delivery nurses?
So no, what's funny is I only knew one of the business owners. The business structure had changed so many times in that first initial year, but I basically just knew one person. Her name is Deanna, and she's lovely. And she was the only person I knew. I didn't actually know Amy at the time, but I joined their business, and then Deanna left pretty quickly because she was like, okay, if you guys want to buy a cool sculpting machine and turn this into something different.
It was doing more. It was more than what she.
More of a commitment once we bought that machine, because then we had nice.
Well, this is when you go from a hobby to a
once you have
business.
Yes, once you have loans attached to it and those responsibilities. So she ended up leaving at that time, and then Amy and I kind of grew from there. So
how did you? So it sounds so simple, and I know it wasn't simple. It's never simple. So how did you know how to grow it? Because there's so many things in the med spa industry, and obviously there's a lot more available for owners now than there. Oh my gosh, you probably had not much of anything available as far as resources. Yeah, and I'm talking about everything from
it's kind of like Wild Wild West. There's the real OG injectors who were injecting since the early 2000s, and they are the true OGs. But I even feel the fact that we started before the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. I'm what I mean? There's not a lot of places that have been open for longer than 8 or 9 years in our area, at least. I actually heard an interesting fact that 80% of injectors right now have less than 2 years of experience. It's so booming right now, but people are entering the market in the last couple of years.
Right.
So yeah, kind of interesting, but
so how did you figure it all out?
I feel our reps were awesome. Truly,
what?
I love them.
I agree with you. We were meeting with some potential vendors, machines, things like that last week, and I know laser reps get a bad deal.
Yeah, it's a 4-letter world. Reps can have such a like sales or whatever.
Good reps
amazing.
Are gold.
Amazing. Yeah. So
we
feel that was a real
partnership.
Honestly, our reps really believed in us and were honest with us, and took, I think, a lot of time, especially in those earlier days when we were doing we were not ordering shit basically. It was not worth the time that they were giving us, but they saw something in us and really kind of helped develop us, and we had a lot of opportunities. That's where we met, was at the AMI business training in Seattle.
That's right. That was last year. That was a year ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's, any kind of free to me resource that was available to me, I would always just lean into that. I think that there's a lot of paid education and paid trainings and things like that you have to do. But in the earlier days before I had $4,000, $8,000 just to spend on a private training, I utilize those free resources, and we try to keep our overhead low. And just anything that was a learning opportunity. And now there's so many other things. There's Patreon and all kinds of stuff that you can sign up for $50 a month. None of that existed when, we were getting started. But there's so many free and lower cost resources that you can at least get started with and then kind of grow from there. But that was the biggest thing, I feel for us.
So, and you're talking about injectable resources, learning how to do what you do. What did you do about business? What did you do about... because what I know, and you mentioned that 80%, whoops, sorry, Maddie. I hit the microphone. I shouldn't do that. Anyway.
It's only when I have the headphones on.
Okay. So there's a lot, you mentioned 80% of injectors, let's just say that's true. 80% of injectors, I know there's a lot of new ones, have less than 2 years experience.
Yep.
And they're going out and they're starting on their own and they're trying to start these businesses. And, I know at Vitality Ventures and at Med Spa Mastery, they start the businesses and they are very excited and they're doing their injections and they have no idea about the business portion of it. But you guys grew to 15 people, so... Did you just figure that out? If someone is just starting out, or there's a couple of them, and I know it can be nerve-wracking. What is the next step? How do I know if I'm growing quicker, or if I'm growing at the right rate, or if I even should grow?
Right. Because it's a totally different thing to just be a one-room location. You can do amazing, make great money.
Oh, absolutely.
Because your overhead's low. So your revenue doesn't have to be extreme. Now with 2 locations, benefits and 401ks and all that kind of stuff for employees, our overhead is very different than it was at the gym or when we even opened 6 rooms but only had us. So for us, we just, because we didn't start the business with okay, we're going to open up 8 locations that. We weren't super hungry like that initially. We just kind of kept on outgrowing whatever we decided to do. That was basically how it worked. We outgrew us being able to check in clients and check out clients, and our schedules became too packed for us to not have somebody at the front desk. And we hired one front desk person, or patient care coordinators, the actual title. And then once we were having too many clients for one person, then we're okay, we probably need an esthetician. It doesn't make sense for us to do microneedling anymore as nurses. So we hired an esthetician, and then it kind of just grew from there. But it's we always kind of just outgrew our existing circumstances.
That's a fantastic way to approach it, because I think a lot of people, we all have, big dreams and whatever. One step at a time. It's putting one foot in front of the other, right? And making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and you say, maybe, I shouldn't have hired this person, or we shouldn't have done that, and that's fine. And then you adjust for it.
Right. And we've done all that stuff too, or had services where we had it, and then it got pulled from the market, and we're okay, maybe we're not going to have something that just got FDA approval, and we learn from a few different things that new and shiny, as much as there's a lot of buzz around it, isn't always the best thing to do in your practice. So we learned that kind of those lessons, and I feel at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, my goal is not to be to have a private jet, or to do I don't have those kinds of ambitions. I just want to have a really happy life, and to not have to worry about picking up the tab for if I go out to eat with people. I want to live a generous life, and a life where I don't have to worry financially about my car payment or my mortgage, but I also don't have the expectation, or not the expectation, but the desire to have intense wealth. So really everything from my standpoint that I've made a decision for is just about creating a culture where I can't wait to go into work and work with people that I work with, and that part is so important to me. And my clients, I can't wait to see my clients. So my quality of life, even though I work my ass off, I work insane hours, but it's actually really fun. I love going to see my employees. I love going to see my clients. And I love doing the right thing. So I never have to like be icky. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So to me, those things just shouldn't like be, those shouldn't butt heads, honestly. And so there's been some situations where, you know, like we've done nothing wrong, nothing, you know, we gave like very accurate information to somebody, but they didn't get the results that, you know, results vary, right? But they didn't get the results that we wanted either. And we'll like, you know, do free services to get them to the endpoint that we all agreed on and talked about. So to me, I just love that ability to just like always do the right thing. Like you can always do the right thing with a small business, and I don't have to like check with, you know, with anybody or
right, because
like
you have
that.
You have that personal relationship with your customer. And I think,
yes,
especially in the med spa industry, which is, I mean, I know they say more dudes are getting Botox, but I mean, let's be honest.
Of our clientele base, or
right.
less. So,
so if someone is unhappy, I mean, you can always make them happy. Even in our past, even not in the med spa industry, if someone's unhappy, even if, I mean, you know if they're full of shit or not. Let's be realistic, okay? But if they're unhappy, we exist for clients.
100%, 100%, and that your outcome should be pretty great. That if you, when you have that kind of one-off, you're like, gosh, I just, you know, we did 5 syringes, like what I thought, and I just feel like we didn't get the wow outcome that we wanted for this. So I just at the end of the day, how we grew our business, like if you look on Google, we have a ton of 5-star reviews.
Like,
and they're all 5.
I think they're all 5 stars.
No, we have a couple 1 stars.
That's okay.
That's
always going to happen.
100%.
I mean, that's just kind of.
But I can stand behind those 1-star experience. I can actually stand behind them that we actually did the right thing by our employees too. Because, you know, unfortunately, and very occasionally, it doesn't happen very often, but occasionally there are people who are really like abusive to staff. And so there's sometimes where we're like,
did you ever have a filler and run?
Oh no. Oh my gosh, no.
I have been in a med spa where that has happened, where a lady got 4 fillers and walked out the freaking door.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
No. What if she needed a follow-up? No.
I don't think she cared that much. Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
No, I have not had that happen. But it's really infrequent. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's the right thing to do to, like, stand up for yourself or stand up for, you know, for your employees when people are really, like, really mean to people. There have been a few occasions where I gave in to the mean person just to avoid like a crazy sounding review. But I really,
but that's okay.
It is. But what I've decided is I'm like, starting in 2025, I'm not doing that anymore. If people want to 1-star me because they did something so icky or treated my staff so poorly or cussed out my staff or something like that, or that, it's okay. They go and 1-star me. That's fine. So that is something that I'm like, I'm like, starting in 2025, we're not kissing booties that are not nice booties.
No. Well, I think if you practice the experience where you step outside the situation,
yes,
and look at the situation from like as a third party observer with almost everything, because it's very easy to get involved in our, you know, so like, hold on so tight and this is how it goes, or no, they're wrong, or how dare they do, or whatever it is. But if you step outside and look at it as a third-party observer where you have no skin in the game, where you're just looking at, you know, say, okay, because we get in our bubbles. Every industry, every business gets in their bubble, and they forget, and they start talking the talk and then getting involved in whatever happened before. But if you step outside and you say, okay, where's this person coming from? Where are they coming from? Usually you can be like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, or I didn't look at it that way. And a lot of times people who are cranky and unhappy with nothing else, you know, they're having a shitty ass life anyway.
And I feel that way too. I mean, sometimes people like do come into aesthetics really at like a low time. Sometimes that happens, you know, or really like transitional time or really scary time, you know, maybe like they just got divorced after like 20 years of like, you know what I mean? Like there's like some like pretty big transitions that can bring people in. And I feel like that's like a big responsibility to meet them where they are and help make it such like a good positive experience, because like I think we've probably all had the experience of like, wow, that literally, even though it's just Botox or just whatever skincare, or it's like you finally taking care of yourself, and it can have such huge impacts on how people treat themselves and treat others. Come in.
Amanda.
Woo, Amanda.
Who
We're
is
talking
that
about
Amanda?
skincare.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
And how good it can make us feel. How it can be just more than
down.
just, yeah.
No, yeah, we were talking. What?
Introduce yourself.
Amanda.
This is Amanda. So she's Viva Aesthetics. She hates the camera, but that's okay. It's fine.
For a second. We'll be able to hear you still, I promise.
Okay. Don't worry. That's fine. I don't mind.
I'm just gonna give Amanda just a little something.
Shannon's like, I can be loud.
Cynossure's here.
Oh, okay.
That's why I popped in.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to?
Bring them.
We were talking. So Amanda's here, and Amanda is the owner of Viva Aesthetics, and so it's med spa in Ridgefield. Talking to Summer, but she was telling us about how Amelie.
Yeah, you can say however you want, but Amelie is the correct pronunciation, but we didn't know that. So we said Amelie for like the first like 3 years of our business. Well, we knew it was that the correct pronunciation, but we were literally did not want to seem like we were like snobby. So whatever people would say, we'd just be like, that's what it's called. It's a French word. It's actually kind of like a feminist word. It means like industrious and integrous and hardworking.
Oh, I love
So
that.
yeah. But it has like an accent. It's kind of, no one knows how to pronounce it and stuff like that. So but yes, yep.
Huh?
Yeah. We just never want to be like snobby and be like, it's Amelie. So we'd always be like, Amelie, any way else, that's what it's called. Like, we don't like to correct anybody.
She was telling us how Amelie, that's what I said, grew up and then just also, which was very organic way, which is nice as opposed to, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, now I'm going to own 3 med spas or 3 locations, whatever. Which I think is nice for people just starting out to kind of, you feel your way into growth sometimes, most of the time. I think if you become so rigid and say this is exactly how it's going to go, you're going to stay very rigid and not
Yeah.
grow, Good stuff for you just starting out, right?
Yes, I'm excited.
She's useless.
I love you so much.
Have you had any troubles yet starting your...
No, everybody's been super supportive. I think we have a really strong community here, which is going to be our backbone.
Yeah. It's a good community. I was saying to Amanda, I was here in the space this weekend, and we weren't open obviously, but I was here, and I had 3 random women just knock on the door and come in and go, "Can you get rid of these spots?"
You're like,
And I'm like,
next week. Yeah.
that went over there.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. But I like that. I like this location, and location is a huge thing.
Well, Ridgefield's very culty in a good way. Like, Ridgefield
there are
is...
such things as good cults.
Yeah,
Netflix would disagree, but
Oh my gosh! Because did you watch Mother Love?
I've watched all the cult ones. I love them so much.
They're wonderful. The Mother Love with the dressing her up in the Christmas thing,
Yes.
driving her across state lines. Have you seen that one? No. It's so good.
I love them all.
Oh, it's so good.
But cults in a good way is what we're talking about, yeah.
good culty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody with their R logos and... Yeah.
Do you know the R logo for Ridgefield is the exact same logo as Rutgers University, which is where I graduated from? It's the same freaking logo. Rutgers is red, Scarlet Knights. This one's orange. When I moved here, I'm like, I thought literally I was in the land of Rutgers and all my alumni were here for like a week and a half.
Oh
I'm like, I didn't know this is where all the Rutgers
That's funny.
alumni from
That's
New
really
Jersey
funny.
went.
Oh my gosh,
It's the same
that's
freaking
hysterical.
logo. Man. But that's okay. I like that. That's very rah-rah. I grew up in a college town. I love college towns. I'm all about the rah-rah. So, I like that cult part. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey. Well, you have been a breath of fresh air, Amanda, I must say.
I love you so much.
Oh my God, that's so fun. Okay, what's next on the horizon?
We can wrap it up too.
Yep,
Or
because
maybe we just
Oh
talk
yes, no, I
I need to
have
talk about
questions
me.
for you.
What am I
Yes.
talking about?
Just you are a woman in business. How did you get here?
I can kind of intro you a little bit. I would love to.
I'm
Okay.
going to be here every freaking time.
So how I met Shannon was at, because a lot of med spa owners are owner operator, like their background is medicine and not business at all.
Right.
And so I think I sat just right in front of you, or right behind you or something like that. Somehow we connected at an Allergan like business, whatever. And
in the elevator.
We really connected in the elevator because I think you were like, fuck that, or not anything like in a negative way.
I'm sure.
Yes, it was about something like hilarious. And I was like, where are you from? And then I think Anna was there or something like that and introduced us.
Yes.
And she was like, oh, you guys would really like each other. You guys are all just kind of like straight shooters, like to have fun. And she just knew that we were going to connect. And then you said that you had to go meet your husband. But then I think I talked you out of it and we grabbed a drink or something.
Correct.
Yes.
It was, yeah. Yes.
Like just from that initial moment, you were like what was so crazy is that our locations at the time, we were like very close. So you were like our competitor actually.
Yeah.
And you were like, how can I help you with your marketing from a digital perspective? Because it was just not doing super great at the time. And I was so like fascinated that you wanted to help me, and it felt really genuine. And I was kind of like, but there's no way, because she's kind of my competitor. Like, why would she want to care about my digital marketing? And then Anna was like, no, she's just really like a good person that just wants the whole, rising tides will kind of rise everybody. So yeah, that was my first interaction with you. And I told people like, Shannon's so cool. This is where she is. And then me and Andrea, who does our marketing, actually went to your
location,
work and literally met
Our
Maddie
spa,
and everything. Yeah. And you were so welcoming and kind. Like Andrea and I talked about that the whole week. We were like, I can't believe they just let us like come in. They were so nice and they actually like cared about us. So anyways, that was my interaction with you. So it's really cool that recently we've kind of been able to collaborate a little bit more, but I'm very interested for you to share like what is Vitality Ventures? Like what are you doing right now with your venture?
Vitality Ventures is maybe an extension of what you were just talking about. So before I got involved in a med spa on a daily basis, which was never the plan, but we follow the roads, that are presented to us. I was always doing digital marketing for small businesses and growth and things like that. And I had no idea what a med spa was, but I have to tell you, most businesses before up to, let's say, 50 to 100 employees, literally the success there's a plan of way. Now obviously that changes as the world changes and the internet and things like that, but it's really about taking care of your clients, always being present, keep on going. Obviously I was much more interested in, always have been, in the digital marketing space and creating websites and SEO keywords and how to connect with people and the psychology about why people listen. You know what I mean? And why. So then after I left Camus Med Spa, it was natural progression to just go back into doing what I was doing. I was at an agency before that I had run, and now we're back to square one, which for the entrepreneurial brain is my favorite place to be, is at square one. Because it's the growing part that's fun. Yep. It's just like, what's next? And so Vitality Ventures is basically teaching, aiding, whatever you want to call it, small businesses, entrepreneurs, startups, female-owned businesses. I love working with women. I think, as I mentioned before, women approach things a different way. I think they're much better when it comes to customer service and client service and understanding that. But the goal was to, the business portion of it, the marketing portion, the online portion of it is the engine that drives the business. And I was talking about this before. And startups and small businesses, they get so excited to do what they're going to do, to give what they're going to give, and passionate. And it's very exciting and exhausting. And then they get going, and if they don't have that engine in place, if they don't have, a really good website that has things going on the back end, because that's still where most people Google, and that's where their intention is.
That's how I find things.
Then they're gonna. And they don't understand the ROI, and they don't understand where to put their time or understand how to put their time in places. it becomes a real tough struggle to get their passion out there to the world. There's usually that initial bump. We're just opening up, but it's a long game, and you got to keep going, and you got to keep going every day. So the goal with Vitality Ventures was to kind of create a support system in that way, an affordable support system, because there are those huge marketing companies. Oh, look, you can download this app and you'll get 50,000 more clients or 50 more clients a week or a month. It's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. Yep.
They're fine, but that's not going to change your business. It's like a full dinner. You have to have all the ingredients.
Yeah.
So we were trying to make it affordable and to give tools and tips and things like that.
Yeah.
And then from that, because we keep getting sucked into the med spa industry for whatever reason, we love it. I mean, right? We decided
it's a mix of everything. It's like literally a business that contains everything.
I love
makes it really, it makes it fun and you're never bored. But it's like, I mean, even like operationally, it's like every governing board, like the cosmetology board, nursing board, medical board, and then like OSHA and like, and then every other business and medicine and customer service and retail. It's like literally anything.
It is. It is.
And even software. Software is involved in it quite a bit. And
it is the mix of everything. So and then Amanda, we had this location. Amanda's like, well, I want to open up aesthetics. And I'm like, we're back in the med spa game. Yeah. It's great. We know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Not that it's small business. It's women centric. And like you said, it's very interesting. I don't know a lot of people with a med spa business background, which we have since developed over the last 5-6 years. But I'm excited because this industry is a cool industry to be in, and it's growing. I know the projections for the next 3-4 years are very, very, very high. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see how it goes. But hopefully, we can help some other women. And I also, getting back to helping, there we go, Maddie.
Headphones are not on.
I see never a reason why not to share knowledge, share experience, share tools with other people. I don't view other businesses as competitors. And I have lost clients because of that. I've lost med spa clients who are like, well, no, you're working with them. And I'm like, but that has nothing to do with the other thing. It doesn't matter to me.
It's the same concept though. Like if two Starbucks are like across the street, they'll actually both do more revenue.
Of course.
So to me, the biggest thing, and one reason like I'm a trainer also, is the better everyone does, the better everyone will do. That right now there's a huge part of the demographic that would normally see aesthetics that are not into the aesthetics industry because they've seen some like weird shit happening with like overfilled faces and people that look weird. So it's actually about like elevating the industry.
100%.
You go to Utah and there is like, people look freaking gorgeous there.
Yep.
There's a med spa every block, and they're killing it.
Too. Did you know Australia?
Yes, yeah, and they're killing it because their shit is good. They're doing quality work. It's safe. It's, you know what I mean? Like all of those pieces are in, and I think that in our area, there's some incredible businesses that are very collaborative, but I don't know if there's quite a tight-knit community here that there is in other locations.
I don't think so, but
we can get there.
I think we're trying to get there.
Yep.
We are getting there. Hello, Maddie. And also, there's a lot to come. We'll create a nice little community of med spa owners and people who want to help grow, and those who don't, fuck them.
Yep. Amen.
Amen. I got to get my nails done.
So fun.
Thank you, my love.
That was
good.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was so good. Fun. It was very good. We have a lot to do. We could talk about this a lot. This is good. Speaking of that,
I love all the energy. Good energy. Snowballs. Keep going. It's snowballs.
So May 18th, you need to be here on May 18th. So May 18th, it's a Saturday, but what we're doing is I'm working with Kate Crow. Do you know Kate Crow from Cutera? She used to be with Cutera. So we're creating, we don't even have a name for it yet.
Okay.
We're gonna.
Is it an evening event?
I don't even have a time, but you can let me know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have I was co-founder of APMG, which is Aesthetic Practice Managers Group. I told you about it, and we did all the Zoom, but it was practice managers. They didn't want owners in there, which is why I wasn't trying to keep you out, but they were, whatever.
Yes. Yep.
So we're going to do the same thing with owners. We're going to start with Zoom, everybody talking, blah, 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 blah. And then we're going to have, and I talked to Anna about this, she's going to be here talking. And all the owners who are fucking cool people, or even practice managers who want to come, we're going to I'll do a digital talk about digital marketing. Anna's going to do a talk about just what's going on in the industry on May 18th. But it will be more of a just networking, getting together, talking.
Okay, I would love that.
Yeah, and we'll do, there will be some branding and some promotions before that. And I'm working with Kate Crow. She's on the other side of the river. And so we'll probably do some here, and then we'll do, she has a location over there and people. But, create the community.
Yes. Okay. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Maddie again. Summer and Shannon together create a powerhouse. If you got this far, we hope to see you on our next episode. We have Stacy from the marketing department at our local news station team. There's tons of East Coast treasure you won't want to miss out on. And just in case, I wanted to pop in and say no medical or legal advice is intended in any portion of this podcast. It was only for educational and entertainment purposes. This is from Vitality Ventures Group. How are you using your power?